Welcome to this explainer, where we're diving straight into antiquity's most legendary meat grinder, the Battle of Thermopylae. Look, we've all seen the movies, right? The chiseled abs, the dramatic red capes, the ultimate glorious sacrifice. But today, we're gonna cut right through that Hollywood pop culture and look closely at the actual historical data. We're gonna separate the prevailing myth from the deeply fascinating and honestly, far more complex real story. Because by the time we're done here, you're gonna realize that the true historical reality is actually far more fascinating and infinitely more impressive than the simplified myth we all know.
To really understand this event, we absolutely have to start by asking one foundational question. Did only 300 men really face down an entire sprawling empire? It's a beautifully compelling narrative, isn't it? A tiny elite force standing shoulder to shoulder against an endless sea of adversaries, holding the line against literally impossible odds. I mean, it's the foundational pillar of a legend that has survived for over 2 millennia. But as usual, history's rarely that simple. And the thing is, stripping away that exaggeration doesn't diminish the heroism at all. Actually, scratch that. It adds a massive layer of profound political and human depth.
Here is where that pop culture image instantly shatters when confronted with historical reality. The myth tells us 300 Spartans fought entirely alone, operating in this vacuum of solitary glory. But the truth? The truth is that they were the spearhead of a massive, incredibly diverse Greek coalition making a defiant stand together. The Spartans absolutely did not stand alone. Thermopylae wasn't just a monument to Spartan warrior culture. It was this rare, remarkable moment of unified resistance across notoriously fractured, independently minded Greek city-states. They finally realized they had to band together or face total destruction. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the true Greek coalition. We always hear this iconic number, don't we? 300. These were the elite Spartan warriors, specifically the Hippes, the royal guard. And they weren't just randomly selected either. They were specifically chosen by King Leonidas because they were all sires who already had living sons. It's a pretty morbid prerequisite, but it ensured that even if they all fell, their family bloodlines would continue. Now, King Leonidas and his men undeniably played a central legendary role, but focusing exclusively on this number creates a severe historical tunnel vision, completely erasing the thousands of other brave individuals who were holding the exact same heavy shields in that very same phalanx. When we break down the actual makeup of the forces, it's kind of wild. Those 300 Spartans, they made up barely 11% of the front line. To put that into perspective, they were backed by roughly 700 Thespians, 400 Thebans, and hundreds of Helots, which were Spartan serfs who also fought and bled in the mud that day. This definitely wasn't a solo mission. It was a collective sacrifice of several thousand men. So it's pretty safe to say Hollywood really did the Thespians dirty by completely leaving them out of the blockbusters. The reality was a shared burden among neighbors who realized that if this pass fell, their homes were next. Moving right along to Section 2, the strategic choke point. So how did this much smaller Greek coalition actually hold off a sprawling empire? It was all about the brilliant exploitation of terrain. Thermopylae translates to the hot gates, and militarily, it was a geographical nightmare for an invading force. Imagine a narrow coastal passage sandwiched tightly between the sea on one side and steep, impassable mountains on the other. This geography completely nullified the Persian Empire's massive numerical advantage. A Greek phalanx, utilizing its interlocking heavy shields and long bronze-tipped spears, practically thrives in a tight corridor like this. They essentially turned a massive army into a slow trickle, forcing the Persians into an absolute meat grinder, where sheer numbers meant nothing and heavy armor meant everything.
Which brings us to Section 3, the betrayal and final stand.
Mapping out the battle across these 3 critical days, you can really feel the tension escalating. Day 1 is the initial clash. The Persians send wave after wave, even eventually unleashing their elite heavy infantry, famously known as the Immortals, straight into the choke point. And the Greek coalition just effortlessly swats them away, inflicting devastating casualties. On day 2, the defense continues to hold firm, proving beyond a doubt that this geographical strategy is working flawlessly against literally everything the Empire can throw at them. But then, we hit day 3, and this is where the narrative fundamentally shifts from a brilliant tactical defense to a tragic, inevitable final stand. You see, the Greek defense wasn't broken by a failure of stamina, morale, or combat skill. It was broken by a precise tactical betrayal. A local resident named Ephialtes revealed a secret Anapaia mountain goat path to the Persians, hoping for a rich reward. Under the cover of darkness, elite Persian forces executed a stealthy flanking maneuver right over the rugged mountains, bypassing the deadly choke point entirely. Imagine that. When the sun came up on that third day, the Greek coalition woke to find the enemy coming up right behind them. The geographical advantage was just gone in an instant. Once Leonidas realized they were fatally outflanked, he ordered the bulk of the coalition to retreat to safety and fight another day, which undeniably was the smart tactical move. But this is exactly where the real story cements its legendary status. The Spartans, alongside the 700 Thespians and the 400 Thebans, made a conscious, deliberate choice. They stayed behind as the rear guard to cover the retreat of their allies, knowing with absolute certainty that they would not survive the morning. It's this specific moment of calculated sacrifice, staring death in the face just to buy time for others, that truly echoes through history. And that leads us to Section 4, a lasting historical legacy. When you really think about it, the truth is a much richer, more incredible story than a simple, distilled myth of lone super soldiers. Consider the fact that the Thespians, they were not professional warriors bred for combat like the Spartans. They were a citizen militia. Yet, they actively chose to stay and die right alongside the legendary professionals. That shows a level of unified bravery that popular retellings almost entirely ignore. It highlights a shared humanity, the vital importance of coalition building, and an incredible collective courage that spans across entirely different cultures and classes. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final thought to ponder. Why does history so often prefer the shiny myth of a few over the gritty sacrifice of the many? Why is it so incredibly easy to erase the immense bravery of the Thespians, the Thebans, and the Helots just to build a cleaner, simpler narrative around 300 men? It really makes you wonder how we consume our historical legends, and more importantly, what else might history be hiding from us right in plain sight? Keep questioning the myths and keep digging into the data.